Let me say a few words about my special guest today, Chris Crosson. Chris has a wonderful story to share with us. He is the owner of the Ferla Royce bike. Well, even though he didn't purchase a bike directly from us, he was able to find a used one on the Facebook Marketplace. And today, he is willing to share his experience and how cargo bike changed his life. So, Chris, thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it is an interesting story, and it's going to be a fun journey fixing the rest of the bike. As you said, I went on our local internet marketplace and found a sweet deal for one of your bikes. It was sold to people back and forth, and I think was at one time left outside because there was a lot of rust and a lot of water, which with vehicles like this, you want to probably keep them inside as much as you can. But I found it, and at one time it was battery, it was electrified, but everything was stripped off of it.
Wow, interesting.
And it's kind of the bike that I wanted to purchase.
I see.
Was a project.
A project for you.
That I can put back together, yeah.
That's lovely. You know, I do that with the cars.
Yes.
And I'm having so much fun with it. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for repairing, and thank you for bringing another bike out there.
Back into the ecosystem.
Exactly, exactly. Can you tell me about yourself and, about your family and how are your typical day look like?
So I'm an industrial designer or product designer. And so I have a little history in making things, fixing things, coming up with designs myself. My wife and I have a daughter who's 2, almost 3, and then we are expecting a baby boy in March. So about a month from now. But who's counting?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
A new addition to your family.
Yep.
That's very exciting, always. Yeah. Are you planning to ride with him?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
As much outdoor time as we can get is, I think, really, really important. After having our first, our daughter, knowing that coming up with things to do slowly becomes very old, and they don't like most things over and over again. But my daughter loves the cargo bike.
Wow.
It is one of her great joys in life is to go on bike rides together.
Amazing.
Without hyperbole, she always asks to go, whether we can take it or not. If we have to go to the doctor and we can't take the cargo bike, she still wants to go on the cargo bike. But picking her up from school, dropping her off at school, we don't always have to use the car. I feel very lucky that I'm able to give her a fun experience while also, she doesn't always want to be in a car seat, but she always wants to buckle up in this thing and go for a ride.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What was her first impression? Like, you brought a bike and it's like, Dad, what is this?
I'd opened up a toolbox of different bit sets to start, taking apart some of these wood panel bolts. And her first impression was taking some of the fittings out and trying them in all the different holes. I think she was just fascinated by every part of this thing.
I saw that picture.
Yeah.
That made my day. Honestly, she was looking at you. She was curious about it.
Yeah, I mean, just fixing up the bike, being in the process of this journey is really fun to be able to do it with her. She loves putting on our little black nitrile gloves and getting dirty and, fixing parts. But it's also fun to have it working again. And, having something that was neglected, but is repairable, and I'm able to do it with her, and that's really cool.
Now, hearing the story that it's actually you are getting connected with your daughter, this is something that I love to hear.
Yeah,
I love to hear. Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
You.
How your life changed?
To not have to feel fixed that we're going somewhere in a car,
right,
is a very nice feeling. Very freeing to think that there's an alternative to walking or driving. It's not just one or the other now, that we can go in this. We've gotten breakfast in this. We've gone to a local restaurant and had breakfast. And I think if you're in a bikeable city or not, I don't think it matters, because you can take this thing out, it changed our view of how we get places. I think that's something that really changed.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And I think Penelope enjoy an extra attention from people around.
It definitely is a head turner.
Yeah.
Like cars slow down. She gets to look at the cars a little more because they all slow down and look at it. Someone that lives in our area also has a Ferla.
Oh, really?
In this exact configuration.
Is that
so? This same color. You know, she brings her 2 kids that are a little bit older to the park, and she likes going out in it. I mean, people look at that one too, and people look at us when we're in the bike, and yeah, it just makes me feel a lot safer too, going around. One of the reasons I wanted to get a bike like this, I looked for a long time online for different bikes, and I know what I didn't want was, at first we had a bike with one of the child seats that was kind of behind the handlebars.
Right.
So she would turn with the front wheel. And that was okay. Because
with the front, not even in the back.
Not in the back, no.
Wow.
It was a Tula
Okay.
thing that
Yes.
connects to the front.
Like a seat with adapter you can connect to any bike.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That was like, and we had some bike that we had that worked okay. But it was a 2-wheel bike. But I wanted something that I could keep my eyes on her, and something that I didn't have to tow a trailer behind, because those trailers are everywhere, and that's for some people, but I wouldn't want to look behind myself biking the whole time, making sure she's still in there.
She's still there.
Making sure she made it up to the curb.
Whew, yeah.
It makes the whole experience a lot more difficult. If you have the trailer, you have to go up the curbs, you have to bike a little bit differently. Every change that you make to your own cycling way can, make it a little bit more difficult and not as enjoyable. Exactly. So I wanted something like this that, she was in the front and she was buckled in and had 3 wheels.
Even by telling about the trailer behind the bicycle feels scary. I wouldn't do it either. Tell me about the weather condition. Have you drove the bike during we had a lot of rain this season.
This has been like the wettest winter
absolutely
I've ever known. And even if the streets are flooded and the rain is coming down on our roof and it's loud, she still wants to go outside. And we have an option to go outside because we have the rain cover. We throw it on the cargo bike in the garage, and then we're out. I know, I'm saying this as a Californian where it rains like, 2 weeks out of the year. But still, when those days are really meaningful, to be able to get out and, enjoy. She loves taking the cargo bike to the overpass where the river comes down and seeing all the water. She'd never seen anything like that.
Wow.
So, on rainy days, you get to see things that you don't usually get to see. So
it's like a roller coaster for her.
Oh, yeah. Especially where we live. There are a lot of bridges and hills.
Right.
And she loves it. She always yells faster, even if I can't bike that fast. She always wants to go fast.
She wants to go faster.
No matter how fast I can bike, it's not fast enough for her.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been thinking about this very deeply now, how this particular transportation can connect family even deeper, because you spend the time together, you experience the moments together, you're thrilling through high speed together, through their turns, curves. I mean, this is, I think, something really connects family, like a father and daughter, even closer.
Yeah.
Because when you sit in the car, sometimes they watch on iPads, but I think this is something more when people, when family, gets together, they enjoy this experience together. You can really watch cartoons while riding a cargo bike.
You wouldn't want to.
You do, exactly.
Yeah.
You have a scenery moving around. I mean, it's this experience, the air blowing. Did you feel that way
for sure.
together with her? I mean,
absolutely.
She's telling you, Dad, can you go faster? It's happening pretty much like almost every day you ride the bike.
It's definitely a win-win where you're getting to where you need to go, but you're doing it in a way that makes a memory much more memorable than just driving there. For anyone who's put a kid in a car seat that doesn't want to be in a car seat will understand that sometimes it's not fun to go places. But this is completely different. She's never not wanted to go into it, which is, for anyone that has a toddler, knows is amazing. The car is a place for music. It's a place for watching something. It's definitely, you have to kill time in the car because it's not enjoyable.
Right.
They can only look out the window so much because they're in a car seat They have to be contained. They have to be belted in really tight because you're going 80 miles an hour down the freeway.
Exactly.
So it is a whole nother world when they get to sit in here. Growing up, our family vehicle was a Volkswagen Vanagon, which I don't know if you know that car layout, but
I do.
Behind the front 2 seats, there are 2 rear-facing seats.
Right.
And that was unlike anything. And that's what you get in this, is you can sit backwards. And something to be able to see the world move past you backwards is something that you never forget. I never forgot it. So being able to buckle up backwards and go forwards was really cool. And that's what she likes, switching it up once in a while. Sometimes she wants to be forward, sometimes she wants to be in the other seat. So
unbelievable.
Yeah. If we have more than 2 kids, we're going to have an issue fighting who's going to sit where. But that's going to be our biggest problem.
Do you have 1 car or 2 cars?
We have 2 cars. We decided to buy 2 cars last year before I found this. But before that, my wife and I worked together and we carpooled everywhere. So we had 1 car for 5 years, 4 years. So we got it, we made it work, and then other places we would walk and try to bike to. But it felt very limiting not having this to go other places, the places in between.
I see. For your particular case, do you think cargo bike can replace your second vehicle?
I think so. Yeah. Depending on where you live. You know, if your school is going to be 30 miles away, maybe not.
Right.
But I think it can replace a second car. And I say that as someone who is married to a European.
Right.
So my wife is from Sweden.
Super cool.
And all of the Nordic countries, a lot of the Nordic countries and the Netherlands, they have mastered the bicycle town. And there's something that the towns were made before the car was invented.
Correct.
And so, and our country was built on the car. So with the advent of, you know, your electric bike, I think it's possible to get in between the car and walking. And I think you can make it happen. Yeah. I think we think as Americans that things have to be driven to or walked to, but there's nothing in between. And I don't think that's true. So I think if you had a school that was far away, you could still bike there. Look at the experience of other people in other countries and see where they bike to versus where we bike to. And I think you can find yourself giving up 1 car and making this work.
Thank you for your input. I hope people will listen to this and will make a small change, which will lead to a bigger change. Absolutely. Have you done any shopping, grocery shopping with a cargo bike?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I used to have a Vespa scooter.
I love it.
And there was no storage in the scooter.
Right.
And so I would never take a bicycle, a normal bicycle, or my scooter to go shopping ever again. But here you can, I've been to our local market and gotten vegetables and like a case of water and things that my daughter needed. It's amazing to be able to carry all this stuff.
Wow.
It is a very freeing feeling to be able to go to the store and not worry about how you're going to get it home.
Exactly. And the reaction, I mean, usually when you ride a cargo bike, you get so much impressions from people, you know, they're like, what is this? You know, it's still something new from my experience here in the United States. As you know, in Denmark, every household carry a cargo bike. They own a cargo bike.
It's their school bus.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a culture. Here, for some people, it's still something new. Yeah, so we're exciting to make this change. And I'm so thankful that I have people like you board with us.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
We're pushing our mission together. So that's very exciting. I want to elaborate a little bit about your experience with putting all the components that you had to put towards your purchase because of perhaps your background in engineering. You decided to take this project, but this project is pretty difficult, even for us to strip everything down and put brand new motor, cables, controller together, battery. It's pretty hectic, and you just tackle this. I really wanted to meet you.
You sound like my wife.
Yeah.
It is a difficult project, but
Everything is working? No issues so far?
Almost everything. All I have to do is connect the battery to the rest of the, everything functionally works, yes.
Wow.
But just having a child and getting about 15 minutes each day to work on something isn't conducive to finishing things on time. But once everything's fixed to the bike, we're gonna have a fully motorized bike.
Amazing.
That works.
Amazing.
It's very interesting learning about e-bikes at a time where things are so new, and having to become an expert in e-bikes is not something I wanted to do. But I think your products make it very simple that, you know, if you want to put something in, you have a space for a motor controller. If you buy a base version that doesn't have a motor controller, but there might still be a spot for it. Or, you know, a lot of these things can be switched out and things can be motorized. So yeah, it's definitely tricky.
I would say so.
Yeah, figuring out what wires connect to what. If you don't have some of the bike tools that you need to fix some of this stuff, learning what a bottom bracket was and how they fail. This bike was definitely left out in the wet because there was a lot of rust. And learning that bicycles, just like cars, need maintenance.
Correct.
That the gentleman that I purchased this from was riding 20 miles a day every day of the week.
Wow.
And
So he used the bike.
Oh yeah, every day.
Wow.
And he was selling at it, kind of like your company goal of, you know, setting up entrepreneurs with a mode of transportation for their business.
So he was using for a business.
He was selling burritos out of 2 5-gallon buckets that sat in the front here. And there's still marks from where they would shake around when he was.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. His wife would make the food and then he would sell it. And, you know, they were $5 a pop. And if you have a need, like a market where the people he would sell it to, he told me, were people out of factories where the restaurants are far away and there's no food to get during the lunch hour. Yeah, industrial areas. He saw a need and filled it. And yeah, we'd bike 15, 20 miles a day. And he wore the bottom bracket out to nothing. So when I got the bike, I thought, this is really, this is a tough cycle. And then after fixing that, it felt like a brand new bike.
Wow.
Getting the bike for the first time, I think he hadn't lubricated the bottom, the kingpin bearing, and I brought it too if you wanted to see it, but it was completely worn out because I think he did much, much more cycling than the average human would do on these cargo bikes.
Especially with the load that he put on.
I mean, he probably had 15 to 100 pounds of food, he said. And
unbelievable.
I mean, he's your perfect use case study.
Use case study.
Is even slightly bented.
It, I don't know how, but this thing must have been riding in the bearing surface just without turning any of the,
Yeah, probably no lubrication whatsoever.
No. I mean, I have videos of this thing when I had just gotten it and I was taking my daughter and my niece and nephew out, and it sounded like the Titanic sinking. It just when you turned it, and I thought, okay, this is how it is.
Hey,
you like it?
I want to try one thing.
And then after replacing that, it was great.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I never seen something like this. I mean, he used the bike.
He used it, and he rode it hard and put it away wet, literally. So.
Wow.
And you've got your bottom bracket here.
Oh, that's from the bike as well?
Yep. The other one, the other bearing, was just shards of metal.
Holy.
But you know what? For a machine like this, after a couple bucks, and you've got a brand new working bike, it is so cool. That is what I love in a product. Is that you change out these parts and
it's back to work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really.
Wow. Completely damaged.
Yep.
Well, thanks for bringing this. I mean, this is an awesome case study for us.
It is for me too. Just learning about basic things that, a bicycle has to be lubricated and maintained, and after a certain 100 miles, this part needs to be replaced. But, it's not that expensive, and you guys have it. So it's it's easy peasy. Yeah.
Interesting. So if you want to use a cargo bike for business, you definitely can. Yeah. I guess.
For sure. Yeah. He's a testament to that.
Wow. Wow. We actually had a team meeting once, and customer service representative was telling about your situation. The question was like, he didn't purchase a bike from us. We don't have any warranty claim whatsoever. We don't have anything to do with Chris. And the question was like, what should I do, right? And I said, we definitely should help. I mean, this is something, there's something we do here, and this is our mission. And I was very impressed. Someone buying the bike from online marketplace, completely stripped down, and the person will be doing a repair. And at that time I said, no matter what, I have to meet this person and just to have this conversation.
It's thanks to you guys, because it's companies like yours that are, hate to say old-fashioned, but companies that, whether you buy the product or not, I have never bought a bike from you, but yet you're still helping me because the bike exists in the ecosystem and you want to see it do its job. And the aftermarket of products is something that's been left behind. The right to repair has been left behind.
I agree.
And I think you guys are a company that does so well in not only selling a beautiful bike, but keeping them on the road is really important. Anyone who owns a car knows that warranties are mind-numbing, but if someone has a bike, you guys will help them out, and that's awesome.
I think that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
It's truly important. I faced an issue when I was left behind because I didn't purchase a particular product from a company, and they just told me, well, we don't have any history of you, so we can't help you. Even though I was ready to pay, and I really feel you. So here we try to help every customer.
Yeah.
And that's our mission, here. We want to bring this concept, and for me, it's very important when people actually ride these bikes, not they just buy it and they keep it inside the garage. They actually use it. And for me, it's a lot more important. Seeing the bikes outside makes me happy.
Your website talks a lot about being a car alternative.
Correct.
You talk about being an alternative to a car, being more environmentally friendly by taking a bike instead of a car. You guys really, you walk the walk because you actually care about your products after they get sold, and you care about the longevity. And I think that's so important.
Thank you.
Yeah, someone like me who just wants this thing running again. I think a lot of other companies would have said no thank you. But I think that really shows where you guys are in the market. Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. So
yeah, I think nowadays is really important to consider a cargo bike. The insurance prices went almost 50% up. The gas prices is also we're seeing that drastically went up. And having a cargo bike, we believe it could replace a second vehicle. And this is what we try to promote, especially if you live, let's say, as you said, not far away from the school, and your community is safe to ride the bicycle. And we also promote that, and we hope the city of Los Angeles and the Orange County will continue make improvements towards bicycle rides and the safety of that. So again, thank you for doing that. Thank you for supporting us. The more people see the cargo bike concept on streets, the more people will consider this alternative. That's, I think it's important.
I think it is too, and I think it's important if you want more bike infrastructure to appear. You need to ride a bike. Right. You need to ride in the street. And
you need to lead by example.
Yes, exactly. You need to cash the check and say, I'm gonna, invest in what I want out of my city. I feel very lucky and very fortunate to live in a very bikeable city, but I've lived in places that are not. You can get by with a bike for certain cases. As a college student, you can get by with, but it's really changed in the last 9 years since college, in a positive way too, where there's more bike lanes. There's more shared bike lanes and sharrows, and people get frustrated because it's their commute or something. I understand if people commute hours places, And but I also understand that if you want to not only get your child or whatever you need to get somewhere A to B, you can also make it an experience with your child and have a win-win where you get to be somewhere in a fun way.
Yeah.
And just getting past the mindset that I need to drive somewhere. I think that really opens you up to, okay, where can I bike to now? Once you make that shift, I think you really start to look at your city in a different way.
Well said. Yeah. Absolutely. I think the quality time spent together, it's really important, and this is our outcome. Besides ecosystem that we are also promoting, we spend a lot of hours at work, and if you have a tool that can bring them together, isn't amazing.
Yeah.
So I was really happy to hear your experience and your story behind the cargo bike.
Yeah.
Who is riding most? Is yourself or your wife?
I am.
You are.
Just because the electric is not finished yet, and
okay.
My wife is 8 months pregnant. So hopefully postpartum, we'll do a lot of bike sharing.
Yeah.
She rides in it a lot, which is really cool to see.
It is cool.
She's not a huge fan of attention, but she gets it anyway, because when she's, up front, it's really cool. When she's pregnant now, we can go places that she couldn't normally walk to. And that's another thing where permanently not going to walk somewhere. But at that time, when she was 6 months pregnant and walking 1 or 2 miles was exhausting, we could go and bike somewhere. So
I'm glad.
Yeah, so was I. And it gets us all connected. She doesn't have to miss out because she can sit up front.
Well, Chris, if you need any additional resources, guidance, or parts, you can always reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to help you to go throughout the process and get back your electrical assist to the working condition.
Thank you very much. So I appreciate that.
You can start rolling and go even further.
The world needs more businesses like yours that connects with end users like me. So
thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
What a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And Chris, because we value customers like yourself, we prepared something small for you and your family. It's here for a reason, as you can see.
Wow.
So this is your gift.
Thank you.
We're happy to.
Oh my gosh.
To present it to you, and inside some essentials that I'm sure you're going to use.
Thank you very much. That is very generous. I accept.
Thank you for promoting Cargo Bike Venture. You will be always our customer.
Thank you.
And you carrying our logo, you carrying our brand. This means a lot to me. We'll be always friends.
Thank you.
No matter what.
That is very kind of you. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate your company for not just click, sorry. You guys have helped every step of the way. Since the minute I called, you guys have helped me more than I ever imagined a company would help a customer in need. So thank you.
There is actually more. Absolutely.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And yes, it's more.
Thank you so much. This is so cool. Oh my gosh.
So it's our merch. It's our official merch that you guys now can ride a bike.
Thank you for including 2, because we would fight over these. Thank you. Should I put this on now, like that?
Yeah.
There we go. Oh my gosh. You guys are... Oh my gosh. You guys are... Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. These are so cool.
I think she will enjoy it.
My daughter and my son are going to fight over these. So I can tell you that. This is so cool. She loves going to the park and playing in the sand. And we have a sandbox at home, but she prefers the sandbox at the park. So this is perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This is awesome. You guys are great.
No, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. I mean, it's been just a pleasure.
Thank you.